We go in a place we all of a sudden don't believe. We go in a place where we feel like we can't make it. We be in a place where we feel like that our families done abandoned us, and now we can't go no more. Somebody turned about it. Somebody go on Facebook and said I was in a cult. The Son of Man must suffer many things, because Eliyahu has came. The Son of Man has suffered many things because Eliyahu has came. We'll start to unravel. Surely Yahuwah Lord would do nothing unless he do what? So it's secrets. So it's secrets. Just talked to a Cody a minute ago about those secrets. Right? So they can't handle these secrets. In your hurt of hurts, you want to give them these secrets. Stop trying to give it to them. They can't receive them. They have eyes that they can't see. They have ears that they can't hear. Right? That's the suffering of the Son of Man. Let's keep going. Isaiah 53, 3-5. Listen, this is the physical suffering. He says he despised and rejected the men. Are you not despised and rejected the men? Are you not people of sorrows and acquainted with grief? Having not the people hid your face from you? Are you not despised and they esteem you not? Right? But you ain't borne nobody's griefs yet, though. You ain't carrying nobody's sorrows, but yeah, they do esteem you stricken and smitten of the Lord. You get sick, like, see, it's that Hebrew coat. See him sneezing over there, eye watering everything. Look at him. Something wrong with him, see? See, if they had Jesus, they'd be okay. For real, that's what they do. Right? They esteem you stricken and smitten of the Lord and afflicted. But he, our Father, was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. And the chastisement of our shalom was upon him. And by his stripes we are healed. Right? So these things are the things that apply to us. That's the physical suffering. The Son of Man must suffer all things in rejection. The Son of Man is going to come to his own will receive him not. Because the Son of Man is the mouthpiece of Yahuwah. He's his prophet that Yahuwah has revealed secrets to him. Why? Because he became his son. He's received something plainly from Yahuwah. So he goes and speaks it. In his mind, it's plain. When it comes out, it's a different language. It's like parables to them. Then shall they do what? So did not this happen to Yahusha? Now he's telling you this is going to happen to you. Why? Because you are becoming the what? Sons and daughters of Yahuwah. Right? So these people are going to deliver you up and kill you. Why are you shocked that they're doing it? Why are you shocked? Stop shedding tears so that people turn on you. Stop shedding tears so they don't accept you no more. They don't like when you come over. Shouldn't be going over there in the first place. Yahushua done told them they're going to deliver you up and kill you. You at their house. Because you don't really believe the word. Because you haven't been, this thing haven't become fully materialized to you yet. It's not real to you yet. That's what this place has done. And even the falling of this place, it's almost like it's falling in slow motion. It's falling. But it's falling in slow motion. And because it's falling in slow motion, we become slack in our mindset towards Yahusha, towards our mindset towards in believing the words and holding on to the covenants. Or believing that now we the sons and daughters and we can't, like, we're going to receive a reward, but we're not going to suffer with him. Because the Son of Man must suffer many things. Let's keep going. John, let's read the whole text. John 16, 1-3. These things have I spoken to you that you should not be offended. Man, that's a word right there. Yahushua said, these things I spoke to you so you won't get offended. They shall put you out of their churches, synagogues. When the time, he said, when the time comes, why are you offended? That whosoever killeth you, they think that they do. And these things they do unto you because why? They're not the children. The secret things belong to the children. To the children. You going around and you telling your dad's business at somebody else's house. He going to tear your behind up. He going to tear you up. These people believe they're doing God and Jesus service. And whatever, insert any other God name. Let's keep going. Go ahead and accept it. You're in a cult. So, I heard, they in there in that cult. They be running around talking about Yeshua. And, they be wearing rags on their head. They think they from the Arabs or something. They done lost their mind. They in the cult. I know who done heard they in the cult. Man, that's the first thing. They in the cult, right? So I started thinking about this thing. So the cult goes back to what we're saying about the mindset. So the people that are around you will plant it here, and they plant it when we'll stay here. But you saying that I'm trying to be in this a city that's built by Yahuwah, right? And that's the reason why you have two different mindsets. It's like when the scripture says you don't yoke a jack and an ox together, right? And that's when you hear don't be unequally yoked. They got that from that precept. I don't know if y'all put two and two together, but that's what they're talking about. That's where he got that from. He said you don't yoke a donkey and an ox together, right? Because a donkey is not made to be an ox or vice versa. The ox is going to go his way. The ox is going to go the master's way. The donkey's going to do what it want to do, and you're going to get nothing done. You know what you're going to do? Because if you got two oxen that submitted to the master, they're going to go in straight lines. If you got a jack A and a ox, you're going to have crooked lines. That donkey going to try to go left when the ox is going right, and vice versa. Now, your rows are not going to be set right. So when your seeds get planted, your crops are going to be all over the place. That's how this thing works. So they say that you in a cult. So this thing been on my mind, and it really started because Yahuwah been showing me stuff, and I've been seeing this whole order with the Father and the Son and how it works. And in my mind, I was like, man, this thing is going to get realer and realer and realer. So this is what happens when you're a Christian. So, and this is one reason why some of my family ain't going to never come into this. Because Christians have a certain thought process. They say, okay, and that ain't just Christians, but I just speak for Christians. I know Christians. I know Muslims, but I didn't come from a Muslim household. So the context is that Christians believe that they have a set of things that's established. And what I mean by that is that they'll say, well, this is how I get to heaven. Bam, bam, bam. This is it. I come in, ain't nothing else. I walk into this church say you got to do it. Because each church got a different set of things that they believe to get to that place. So you say, well, I got to do blah, blah, zay. I've done blah, blah, zay. There's nothing else. So now I'm just going to learn blah, blah, zay. And everything that goes with blah, blah, zay. And because I got that down pat, I don't got to learn nothing else. So when you bring me something else, I'm like, whoa. That's called a paradigm shift. Right? When you change somebody's paradigm shift, they'll kill you. I'm not even joking. People have been murdered because of somebody trying to shift somebody else's paradigm shift. Because the paradigm is your worldview. It's how you see everything. So when you start attacking somebody's worldview, it's like you shaking their world. And some people can't withstand that because their mind ain't been set for that. So when you start shaking their world, they be like, this ain't happening. So they'll just turn on you That's why Yahusha said, when Yahusha talks about casting your pearls for the swine, that's why he said they will turn and attack you. Right? Some people done got killed over that stuff. You say too much. Some people done went down a rabbit hole and just did, and then snapped. Some people can't even handle the stuff I be saying up here. I'm just being real. Because their mind can't fathom, oh man, this stuff is really going on. And then they start going up all night watching all kind of different things. And if these things start attacking their mind because they can't, it's like they vessel can't hold it. Right? So saying this, the whole thing about your paradigm is that your paradigm is if you're not settled in Yahusha, when that thing is shifted, a lot of times you could just snap. So saying that about Christians, so this is why when you bring a Christian truth, why they'll double down, they'll dig down in the dirt, and they don't care if they dead wrong, they're gonna just keep snapping at you. Because in their mind, it's like, oh, you ain't shaking my faith. Because they're like, they don't care if it's true. Because they gotta hold on to it because that's their paradigm. Right? So saying this to say, that's how it works. So when you come into something, you're like, okay, this is what it is. As long as I do this, I'm gonna be good. These are all the things I gotta do. That's why they sing them songs. As long as all I need is Jesus. All I need is King Jesus. All that stuff, right? Because they say, I know who Jesus is, so they feel like that's enough. The reason why I'm saying this is that, so sometimes, a lot of time, that's what we do in the awakening. We take that same mind. We'll come into the awakening and we'll be like, what's the awakening? All right, fringes, check. Mitri, check. Shabbat, check. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm getting this thing. Okay, studying, check. Okay, yeah. What can I buy? Can't buy. Can't buy that? Okay, check. Can't eat no fish. Okay, check. I can eat fish? Okay, good, check. Can't eat no shellfish. All right, got that, check. Still like, man, I'm good. Next thing you know, Yahuwah shifts, and he comes to the next point. And then all of a sudden, there's worship. They're like, oh, I don't know about no worship now. Where this coming from? Y'all doing the most now. Y'all got swords? Nah, that's voodoo. Y'all in the cult. Because they're like, this is what that is. Right? You start, see, because what happens is, whatever that floor is for the paradigm, that's where they're going to stay. The thing about Yahuwah is that that's the opposite of how Yahuwah works. Yahuwah doesn't work, it's not like a pattern, like, it's not like a formula like, bow, done. That's not how it works. You can be immersed in Yahusha, you can have the Ruach, and it's still not over. It's not. And what you understand is not settled. Because what we understand is not finished. This is going to be the snare of the majority of the people in the awakening going forward. As we ascend, because that's where I told you, Hagayon, right? And Kog, it's the cycle, feast cycle. It's a wheel. That wheel keeps turning, but that wheel is really a spiral. It just keeps going up. The context is that at different phases, Yahuwah will reveal something. He's like, okay, I'm going to reveal this now. This is time, this is going to be revealed. I'm going to bring this out at this time. I just told you. The Shalakim didn't know what the prophets were saying until Yahusha started walking with them. Then they didn't even know what Yahusha was saying until he resurrected. The disciples the Shalakim was writing stuff about us. They thought that was going to happen back then. It was not revealed. This is the reason why you see Shaul writing, talking about some, hey, just, you got to believe in masters. That stuff didn't apply to slavery that we went through. Didn't apply to that at all. It applied to what they went through, because what they were going through was basically just like an economy. That's how they did things in certain places. There were places that there were slaves, but for the most part, in the Roman Empire, it was almost like this, it's what you do right now. You work for a company 50 years and get no pension. That's basically what they do. I'm an indentured servant to blah, 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 blah. So he'll say, hey, who believe in masters, count them double worthy of honor. That didn't apply to a master when he's taking the skin off your back and chopping off your foot. Two different eras. They didn't see that era. They didn't. All they knew was Yahuwah gave them what they needed to occupy during that time. Because they knew that it was going to be a scattering. They knew that Jerusalem was going to be destroyed. And then most of them had died before that happened. Couple of, I forget the complete timeline. Some of them I think maybe right afterwards. Because it was like maybe like, I forget how many years, 70 AD, Yahusha was allegedly around 33, crucified. So, there was time that passed, right? They couldn't see these things, but these things still came. And so after that time, it came a time for us to look back and then start connecting the dots and start to understand it. And so after we come in, then all of a sudden we have to go to another phase. We have to start connecting more dots and start to understand it because these things have been hidden. The secret things are given to who? The children. So they are secret. It's been hidden, and it's been hidden on purpose by Yahuwah. There's things that we are doing and things that we will do that the world has never seen. And I'm talking about in the assemblies, and I ain't talking about just miracles and wonders. I'm talking about things that we operate in the assembly. And the more that comes about, the more it's going to look and shatter people's paradigms. They're going to be like, oh, they doing this? They're doing that? Oh, they saying this now? Because their mind is, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. That's what it is. They don't realize that this thing, every round goes higher and higher. Because we are sons and daughters, but we not fully mature. So it's over the process of time that children mature and become adults. We're not adults yet. I'm a Moray, I ain't no adult in Yahuwah. I'm older than a lot of people, but I ain't, you get what I'm saying? The gist is, and then I wish Mama Locke was here, because Mama Locke start studying that word elder. That word elder really don't even means the oldest. It means, basically, it's the context. Go ahead, go ahead, Gatush.
It means the firmest. It means like it's not the oldest, it's like the tallest. It's the one that stands the tallest, the most erect person. Or the most, the person who does the right thing. That's what elder is.
Right.
I think we got it from, I forgot the scripture in Proverbs, but we were looking at that word together. But Mom can explain a little better than I can.
Hallelujah. So what happens is that these are mature sons. So as sons become mature, he starts to place them. Place them here. But when he places them, they're not done. They have to continue to. And if you're alive, you haven't fully matured. Listen to me. If you are alive, you're not fully mature. You're not fully mature unless you're dead. Literally and figuratively. You have to die to yourself to get to that place. So saying to say, this is the process of people maturing. And in the maturing, he's going to reveal it. This is why we read in the text, and it says, Yahuwah says, seal that up for a time. Seal this up for the time. Seal up that book, write it and seal it. Because it's going to be revealed at a different time. Then Yahuwah says, in the latter days, you will understand this. What he's saying is that, so these understandings come in levels and at intervals of time. And when it comes, it's just going to be him coming and saying, okay, this is what you do. I'm going to come to a vision. I'm going to give you a vision. This is what you do. I'm going to speak a word to you because it's not written. You might get a precept to back it up, but it won't be written. When the prophets did what they did, it was nothing written about them. They heard the word of Yahuwah because they were the sons and daughters. And they went to do it, and then the scribes wrote it. And that's why we have a testimony. That is the process of how this thing works. That's why he does nothing unless he first reveals it to his prophets, which are his sons and daughters. Because Mashiach is the Ruach of prophecy. So saying to say these things are secret. But that's what I've been showing. I was going over that last lesson. That's how everything works. That's why you go to school and then you go get a master's. And you have to go, and then eventually you'll get a doctorate or whatever. You go through the little chains. You get degrees. You go through this degree, they give you this level of understanding. You go through this degree, they give you another level of understanding. You go through this degree, oh, now you get your master's, you get your PhD, you write your thesis. Now you accept it as one of them, right? That's how all this stuff works. So this is how you got false religions, faiths, because Yahuwah dealt with our people in that manner. Everybody knew about this allure. Everybody knew about him. How did everybody know about him? Because first of all, they knew about him before the flood because of who he was. Second of all, they knew about him because of Noach, because everybody came out of Noach. Everybody currently, except for the Nephilim seed that's running around here, everybody currently on this earth came from Noach. That's not Nephilim seed. Everybody came from Noach served Yahuwah. He taught his sons about Yahuwah. So people knew about Yahuwah. But what happened is that Yahuwah didn't deal with all of them. He was like, man, I'm going to deal with Shem. They have to deal with Shem like, okay, I'm going to deal with Torah. I'm going to deal with Abraham. You know, going down the line, bam, 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 bam. He's dealing with all these different people. Right? And he chose this specific group and family. He said, no, I'm going to reveal my secrets to them. So what happened is the other nations was like, hold up. How do we operate? We left out in the cold, but they got these L's. The L said, okay, look, he won't talk to you, but I will. So let me show you how to operate. This is really what he does. Do this. They say do this, but we're going to do that. It's called, that's what I told you, that's where the Baal cycle came from. So Baal is the Lord, right? The people who worship in Christianity, same thing. But Baal was the idea of Baal was their version of who they believe Yahuwah is. But Yahuwah didn't speak to them. So they didn't know what to do. So they said, we're going to make up our own way of doing this. Ruach, what you got? He's like, all right, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to drink blood. All right, okay, got you. All right, we're going to have human sacrifice. All right, got that too. So they just went down the list. They got a whole Torah from the Ruachs. They're like, this is how you're going to summon him. I am him to you now. Right? So they had their own, and they said, and they was like, man, we want to be like the Most High. So we're going to give things to just our children. Freemasons. Jesuit orders. Witchcraft. Wiccan, all this other stuff. That's why they call it covens. Where do you think they get this terminology from? Where do you think they got that stuff from? You go read Book of Enoch. Falling coming down and trying to show them other ways to get things done outside of Yahuwah. So everybody came up with their own order. Based on, this is how you connect to this power. This is how you get this done because Yahuwah ain't speaking to you. But now I'm Yahuwah to you. So you're going to hear from me. And this is what I say do. Right? Because the secret things are revealed to the. That's what happened. So that's why all these religions came from fallen Ruachs, giving them instructions because Yahuwah did not speak to them. Right? So saying all this to say, those places are called cults. So let's look at this. What is a cult? A fringe group characterized by a fanatical devotion to a common spiritual or philosophical belief or an individual or cult figure. You in a cult. So you believe you have fanatical devotion to a spiritual leader, Yahusha and Allure, Yahuwah. You devoted, so that means you are in a cult. Hashtag cult life. That's it. So that pretty much describes every religion. You in a cult. So why do they say you in a cult? Because to them, a cult is anything outside of Babylon. right? Outside of their paradigm. You're doing something different. This thing gonna be different till Yahusha descend in the cloud. And I'm tell you, and I'm talking about it's years for that's gonna happen. It's all kind of phases we got to go through. We are right now. We witnessing the destruction of Babylon. The destruction got to get. So when Babylon, y'all know when Babylon is destroyed, the beast is still doing his thing. So the beast still gonna be doing his thing. Babylon gonna be burnt to the ground. That's coming. Time is gonna pass that. Then after that, we're gonna be hidden for so many amount of years. We come out from the wilderness. We got to go back to the land. We got to go from place to place. Sojourner. So we get into the land. And when we get into the land, it's going to be a reconstruction of things. The scripture even talks about a war. They come against us when we settle. It's all kind of time is going to happen before Yahushua come down and set on the earth permanently. Right? But the context is that, so this thing is going to be revealed and revealed and revealed and revealed. It's going to be unrolled like a scroll. That's going to be a revelation. But the context is that, can your paradigm take that? Is that dome hitting you upside the head? Who done had dreams when you take off flying? I'll be flying in most of my dreams, right? Right, running fast, doing the Luigi jump. Boom. Right? Super Mario Brothers 2, y'all know that. Right? So, like, that's the thing. It's like you should be able to take off, but what Babylon does, it's a ceiling of unbelief that blocks you, right? Because in your mind, Babylon has taught you to trust in what you see. But that's because they create the images. That's the reason why you don't believe that dragons exist, because they told you it was dinosaurs. And so think about this. A dinosaur is more feasible than a dragon. I mean, just stop and just think about that kind of conditioning. What could be the difference between a dragon and a dinosaur? Why is it so crazy to believe that a dragon exists, but you believe in a dinosaur though? This is why, because they created it, because they didn't want you thinking dragon. Dragon will tie you back to scripture. So if we're going to change this thing, it's not going to be like that. They're wordsmiths. They perfect at it. Well, they'll change the wording of something and make you accept it. You killing your child is like, we're not going to call it killing. We're just going to call it abortion. Then all of a sudden, abortion became bad. Like, now we're just going to say terminating the pregnancy. And we're going to call that family planning. It's your paradigm. A cult is a fringe group of people with fanatical devotion to common spiritual or philosophical beliefs of an individual or cult figure. It's a lot of physies. So, but saying to say, so that's everybody, right? But if you're not, this is being honest. When we be in the assembly, it should be even more. Be honest. I ain't talking about to be fanatical, just the point of being fanatical. And being crazy ain't what I'm saying. But I'm saying is devotion that they're talking about should be greater than every other faith. There shouldn't be any faith that go harder than us. Because we can't say we serve Allah and then they out worshiping us. I'm for real. We can't make them two statements. We can't say that, man, we bought this life, we serve the Most High. And then we come in here and then the Muslims out worshiping us. And the Hindus out worshiping us. And the Christians are worshiping us to false gods. Let's keep going. So let's look at cult. Worship, homage, in a sense, particular form of worship. This is from the online etymology dictionary. French, cult, from the Latin cultus, care, labor, cultivation. So a culture. So all it is, a cult is a culture. You want to know why? Because the gods create the cultures. Ancient languages come from ruachs. Whatever ruach ruled a different place, that was that language. Yahuwah split it. You ever read the Tower of Babel? Yahuwah confused all the languages. They went to other places. Started worshiping other gods, and they had different languages. Everything in that culture. down to the way they dress, their speech, their inflections, how they marry. All those things is reflective of whatever God that they worship. That's why you came over here in America wearing a veil over your head when you got married, because Europeans did that. It's not in your culture. You wear a wedding ring because Europeans did that. Not in your culture. Because when they gave you Jesus, these things came along with it. That's why you get married in a church. The culture is the cult. The cult and the culture are one and the same. It's something that's a seed that's been cultivated. It's a system of worship and living that revolves around that. So what they're saying is you're not part of our cult, because the biggest cult in the world is Christianity. Right? But saying to say you're not part of our cult, it's different than our paradigm. So now we got to attack you. But cultivation is, the root of that is cult. Where the cult goes back to devotion to a Lord, a Most High One. That Most High One dictates everything about their culture. That's why we call it the Torah. Everything we learn from the Torah is the culture, elements of how we should move. Yahusha is the Ruaku element that establishes the culture. Right? So, anyway, let's keep going. It says cultivation, culture, worship, reverence. Originally tended, cultivated. Right? Anyway, let's keep moving. Right? So Yirmiyahu 18:15 says, because my people have forgotten me, they burn incense to vanity. They've been part of different cultures and different cults. And they've caused them to stumble in their ways from where? They don't return that. So the ancient paths is the things that's being revealed. Because there is nothing new. So Yahuwah is revealing the things that wasn't written. And he's going to reveal it through the Ruach. Each stage is going to be something else that comes out. He's going to reveal it to his sons and daughters. His sons and daughters are then going to reveal them to other ones that he has revealed himself to. Because no man knows the Father but the Son, and no one knows the Son but the Father, and whoever the Son reveals the Father to. Right? Until they grow into a father and have a son and bring them to his Father. That's the process. Right? They have caused them to stumble in their ways from the ancient past to walk in the paths and cast not up. I'm going to try to speed this up. So the ancient path. So the ancient path is what knocks against the paradigm. So we have to change. We talk about ancient paths all the time. But it's, listen, y'all, it's going to become more and more ancient. It's going to become more and more ancient. And the more ancient it's going to come, the more people are going to be offended. I ain't talking about outside. I'm talking about inside. People are going to start leaving rebirth because it goes against their paradigm. And again, it says, they said they would not walk in them. We're talking about the ancient paths. They said, we won't walk in them paths. We're not going to do it. Because the ancient path is not a path that's revealed. Ancient path is a path that's known when Yahuwah reveals it. I know what I mean by like previously revealed. He's going to tell you these things. You're going to take a step and take another step and then take another step. Each step is going to be laid out as it's unfurled. Try to speed this up. Romans 16, 25 to 26. Now to him there's a power to establish you according to my Basora. Listen, the preaching of Yahusha Mashiach, Mashiach Yahusha, according to what? The revelation of what? Which was kept secret since the world began. It's been kept secret. So that's the reason why these things are not known. The ancient path is not known. It's just revealed at particular times. So the offense is going to come in when this stuff starts working against our desires and what we think. And I'm telling you, it's going to be some cuts. Mark me down, y'all. It's going to be some cuts. That's coming when this stuff is revealed, because people, it's going to go against what they desire. And for somebody, everybody is different things. The revelation of mystery, which is kept secret since the world began, is now made manifest. And by the scriptures of the prophets, according to the commandments of the everlasting Lord, made by the nations in obedience of Emunah. And get even wilder. Hebrews 11, 13 through 16. These all died in Emunah, not having received the promises, but have seen them afar off. Listen, they were persuaded of them and embraced them. Their paradigm shifted. Like Abaya got up here. He talked about when he was in Mizraim. People think that they didn't know about no Hebrews culture in Mizraim. They were living like the Egyptians. And then they had to have a major paradigm. They knew they was Hebrews, but they weren't living like Hebrews. That's why when they came out, they had to have a major shift. Why do you think they was having an orgy as soon as they came out to go up Sinai? He leave for 2 seconds, they go up there and make them a calf to another god. Because it was in them. They were cultivated. They were a part of the cult of Mitzrayim. And that thing was still in them. And even though Moshe came and told them that these things, because Moshe didn't even know it all, because it had been fully revealed to him. He had to ascend up the mountain to receive these things from Yahusha. And then he comes back down and try to deliver them. And when he did, they had to die. How many men? 3,000 men. One day. And they were just getting cooking. They were just warming up. They had just turned the stove on. People died left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. Because they couldn't hold on to the paradigm. Miriam looking at him like, this is my little brother. I saved him. Now he's telling me I got to do blah, blah, and blah. Then Moshe will give him certain commandments. They'll come back on him about it. They're like, man, you talking about circumcision. You ain't even circumcise your own son. This thing about to get real. Listen, we persuaded them and what? Embraced it. Embraced it. You better embrace these ancient paths because there's cuts coming. And confess that they were strangers. So that's what you do. You're like, man, everything I learned here was a lie. I'm gonna say something that's gonna be hard for people to swallow, and it might make you might start to leave if I say this. Praise Yahuwah. You're gonna have to have full confidence in whoever is the shepherd. Listen, and I ain't saying this to get nothing, props or nothing. But what I'm telling you is that that's how this thing gonna be revealed. That's how they had to move through the wilderness. Yahuwah had to do it. Show it to Moshe. They had to trust that Moshe knew which way to go at whatever specific time. They had to have full confidence in it. That's the only way they survive. This is how we're going to survive in this time. Because being real, from outside looking in, that's the reason why they think you're so crazy. Because they mind like, how you going, this is America. This is America. Ain't no way. You talking about this place, ain't no way. Ain't no way. So what you going to do when this stuff go down? And then you tell them, I'm trusting in Yahuwah. And they're like, psh. Trusting in Yahuwah. Then they talking about how they trust King Jesus. For real, that's how I go, because that's their cult. Right? But saying it to say, so they looking at you like you really, like all the odds in the world are against you. Every odd you can think about as far as a Hebrew. You're facing the most dominant nation that ever existed. The most deadly nation that ever existed. And you're not even fighting against them. You're just waiting to be delivered. So for a lot of people, that's craziness. Like, what are you talking about? How this stuff is going to happen, right? But people who confess the strange and pilgrims, they're not even thinking like that. They're like, man, I'm coming up out of here. I don't have nothing. You start looking, okay, we doing this? Yeah, you're right. We're going to do it this way because this is what's revealed. I'm committed to this. We going forward. Right? They confessed they were strange and pilgrims on their rest. For they had say such things, declare plainly they seek a country. And truly, if they had, listen what he says. If they had been mindful of that country where they came out, they might have went back. Because they were cultivated there. You better start pulling out them weeds out your own nefesh. Better start pulling up anchors. Better start looking at this thing like, man, I'm going to seek Yahuwah for the ancient paths. And whatever I got to do to follow in them paths, I'm going to do it. But now listen, now they desire a better country, that is of the Shamaim. Wherefore, allure should not be, is not ashamed to be called their Lord, for he had prepared them a city. I'm about to speed this up, right? Where we at? So y'all know about this. I ain't got to read 2 Corinthians 6. Come out from among them, be thee separate, right? He says, then I'll receive you, and I shall be what? Fathers, sons, daughters. He's saying, come out of that mindset, and I'm going to receive you. I will make you my son and my daughter. And then whoever I send to you, you will reveal myself in them, to them. Right? See, let's keep going. You about to wrap this, getting closer. Proverbs 22:28, it says, remove not what? So we're returning back to the ancient past. The ancient past not written. We don't even know how all we know is that it had to be oral. The scripture says that Abraham kept the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what it says. We don't have no history of no written laws, statutes, and commandments during the time of Abraham. Right? So you ask yourself, well, we don't know how those things took place. We don't know how it was cultivated in him. We know that he was raised in a specific place. And then he decided he wanted a better country. And he left it behind. Listen, remove not the ancient landmark which the fathers done set. So I was looking at this. It's called Gabal. So the ancient landmark is like Ulam, Gabal. It means to press to or set foot in the shepherd's house. So that's the landmark. So a landmark is where you're trying to get to. Like you in a landmark, you're trying to, like, if you ride in the city, it's new to you. You looking at it specific, okay, I remember this place right here. This got the Capitol building here. They got, this attraction here. They got blah 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 here. They might have a CVS that's on a specific block a certain way. These things stand out to your mind. They call landmarks, right? So the landmarks is for you to find your way, right? So those landmarks is how you set foot or press into the shepherd's house. The ancient paths and the ancient ways. The ancient paths and the ancient ways are also not revealed, but to who? Let's go to Malachi 4. It's past committing sin now. Now it's about the adoption of sons. We got to be past that now. For behold, the day cometh, it shall burn as an oven. And all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly, they shall be like stubble. And the day that Yahuwah shall burn them up, save Yahuwah Zabo, and shall leave them neither root nor branch. They all be destroyed. But to you that fear my name shall the Son of righteousness arise with healing in his wings. That's Yahusha. He shall go forth and grow up as the calves in the stall. You shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes on the soles of your feet in that day that I shall do to save Yahuwah Zabo. But remember the Torah of Moshe, my servant, which I commanded him in Horeb, for Yasharel and statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send to you who? Before the coming and great dreadful day of Yahuwah. And he shall turn what? So what is the turning of the hearts of the fathers and the sons? Hearts of the fathers to the sons and the sons to the fathers. What is that? It's those things, but what it is it's the returning to the ancient paths, because it's the fathers, us returning back to the fathers, and then the fathers returning to the sons. So as we seek the ancient paths, Yahusha reveals them to us. He comes to us and speaks this. We seek our Father out. Our Father in turn reveals things to us. He gives us instruction. He gives us blessing. That's the sons of the hearts of the sons to the fathers and the fathers to the son. Fathers, all the fathers going back. The ancient paths, the ancient landmarks, Ulam Gabal, the ancient landmarks, going back to that place. So we're talking about the word cult. So let's look at the word occult. All right, because they talking about, people say we practice the occult. Occult, the Latin word for occult is clandestine, hidden, secret. The knowledge of the, in common usage, refers to the knowledge of the paranormal or spiritual. That's basically a scientific term for spiritual. As opposed to the knowledge of the measurable, the carnal. Occult means secret. It also means inner circle. This is what I told you about the Bell cycle and wickedness in the earth. They all have occult circles. Hidden knowledge. They have people that are professors. They profess certain things. They have levels of degrees. They are masters. They are Adonis. If y'all didn't know that, that's what Adonai means. Go get your masters. So you have to go to those who profess. They preach to you another worldview, to another God. And in the midst of that, the thing is secret. That's why they have orders. In the midst of their orders, things are secret. All of it is a play on words. The reason why they have secret orders is because Yahuwah don't deal with them. So they have to have a secret order. That's the only way they can have any order. Because the secret things of Yahuwah are revealed to the sons and the daughters. He don't care nothing about them. So that he left them out to do their own thing. And they started coming up with their own orders, their own religions, their own thought processes. And he's like, man, we're going to keep this secret. So people have to be initiated unto us. They have to come to us for we have become the oracles of God. You know, scripture says that you are what? The oracles of Yahuwah. So now they placed themselves to be the oracles. That's what Christianity did. That's why Christianity came up with the church fathers. Why do you think they need church fathers? Because the fathers are Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. But they don't deal with them. So all of a sudden they got Martin Luther, Charles Finney, Calvin, St. Paul, Augustine, Hippolytus. I know about them jokers. Justin Martyr. I don't care nothing about them. That's why I learned that stuff just about them. So saying to say, the gist of it is, that's what they did. They created an occult circle because they placed themselves to be the oracles of Yahuwah. But the status of oracles of Yahuwah is just anybody that's obedient to Yahusha. Because in Yahusha, the secret things are not even secret. Because it's a father and a son. I got I got two sons running around here. Well, one of them is crawling, the other one's running. Right? So, y'all don't know about conversations I had with Husha? Y'all ain't been around and know how I cultivated him. Y'all only know what I show y'all openly. And y'all got to know me or know my son to even know that. I'm trying to get y'all to see this thing. I'm trying to see this thing, how this works. So when they talk about occult knowledge, it's all of it. That's the reason why they have occult things. It's them trying to steal and try to hold on to the pattern that Yahuwah has established. This is the reason why, listen, this is the reason why you have a temple and you have an outer court and an inner court. That's what occult means, inner circle. What do you think they got this? They stole this stuff from Yahuwah. Because Yahuwah don't give two farts about them. He don't. Yahuwah don't care about them. Yahuwah says they are spittle. True story. The script actually says that. It says they spit in the bucket to Yahuwah. That's what scripture said. He said they are smoking my nose because they wicked. Let's keep going. Occult, listen. Meaning not apprehended by the mind beyond the range of understanding. These are the things they call y'all. Y'all in the occult. Y'all are. Y'all are occult. Y'all are. So was Moshe and the priests, Levites. They're the only ones that can go into the inner sanctum. They call that the Kodesh or the Kodeshim. Let's keep going. Let's go to Joel 29. Let's look at these secret things. I mean, talking about these secrets, what are they talking about? See, I know Yahusha was into some stuff. Talking about some secrets. Moreover, Joel 29:1. Moreover, Job said, continue this parable, and he said, "Oh, that in the months past, in the days where Yahuwah preserved me, when his candle shine upon my head, and by his light I walk through darkness, as it was in the days of my youth, when the what? Was upon my tabernacle. When the Almighty was yet with me, and when the children were about me." Remember, he said the things are revealed to who? The children, the sons and the daughters. When I was washing my steps with, listen, I washed my steps with butter, and the rock poured me out rivers of oil. That's how blessed he was because of these other secret things, the wealth that Yahuwah reveals to his sons and his daughters. When I went out about the gate of the city, when I prayed in a seat in the street, and young men saw me and hid themselves, and the aged men rose up. That means when they saw me, they respected me. Right. Because Yahuwah placed this word in me. He came to me and spoke to me plainly because I became his son. And it set me apart from everybody. Daud says here, "Knowing my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I shall dwell in his house forever." But he goes on and says, calls that the secret of his tabernacle. Man, let's keep going. Matthew 13, 33 through 5. I'm going to skip through this fast. 34, he said, "All these things spoke to Yahushua in the multitude of parables, and without a parable, he didn't speak to them." Did not speak to them without no parables. That it might be fulfilled which spoken by the prophet, saying, "I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things," listen, "which have been kept secrets from the foundation of the world." Yahushua spoke these, he was saying things to them. They couldn't understand it because it was the secret things that have been hidden forever. But now these things become manifest amongst his children. These are the things that we've been taking for granted. We're taking these things for granted. We're going to look back on this time, people going to see what happened. They were like, "Man, you was there?" Being honest, I'm just being saying, for even, these things not small things, they're really big things. The stuff that Yahuwah's done in the last 3 years, like when Yahuwah instituted even worship, it's incredible what happened. But we forget about it because we go to work, come to the assembly, leave, and we act like it's just everyday stuff. Man, listen, like that time in the assembly, we was joking around, we was calling the slaughter of kings, all that. We were coming in and it was like 30, 40 people getting delivered at one time. That stuff don't happen nowhere. It don't. Christians got so excited about Azusa Street, they made all these documentations, movies about it, everything. It's like, "Oh man, Azusa Street," because people was allegedly speaking in tongues. I don't know if they did or not. And we in this place, and people just deliverance after deliverance after deliverance after deliverance after deliverance. Then we praying, then all of a sudden the world shut down. Boom. For real, it literally happened. If y'all know the timeline of worship, that's literally what happened. We prayed, came in ward, they say, "No, the world shut down." Boom. COVID. Then Yahuwah started revealing what's going to happen. We came and said, "Man, Yahuwah says he's going to start killing, he's going to kill the Christian pastors." Dead, 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 dead. Boom, 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 boom. This stuff is, listen, you taking for granted what's happening right now. If it was in any other time you saw this stuff, you'd be like, "Man, I wish," some of y'all like, "Man, I wish I could have seen what the Shalakim was handing out handkerchiefs and people was getting healed." Some of them will be like, "Man, I wish I was around when they were swinging swords and countries was falling." Listen, man. This stuff is given to the children. It's been kept secret from the foundation of the world. Let's keep going. Listen, Psalms 25:14. "The secret of Yahuwah is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant." Right? So it's in the